Good morning and welcome to everyone. Thanks for joining me for our Smart Water Wednesday webinar that we have turned this week into the Dropped Tournament of Champions. So we're going to take the standard Wednesday webinar, put it on hold till 2022, and for the last 5 episodes of the year, go to this game show format we call Dropped, the WeatherTrack Tournament of Champions. With me through this will be my partner in crime, Brady Pitcher, who is my friend from Sprinkler Supply, and we have done many trainings together. Brady will be joining me shortly, but before he does, I wanted to talk specifically about today's format and remind you that Smart Water Wednesdays is still a training seminar, right? So we're making a training brought to you by Hydro Point University and WeatherTrack Wednesday. And while it should be super fun, it should also be super informative. In doing so, we are aiming our message at 3 different audiences. We have 3 different audiences for the Dropped. First of all, we have the live Dropped contestants, which you will see shortly. We'll introduce you to our great contestants, but we also have added content for the folks who are watching via the webinar. I love to see the numbers higher than I've seen in a long time. So welcome to the webinar attendees. There will be some training treats and prizes in it for you as well. And we'll focus on the recorded audience. A lot of the folks that watch this will be watching the recording, and we built some things into the training for you as well. More details on that to come. So while we get started, I want to introduce my friend and co-host, Brady Pitcher, who is, again, somebody I have trained dozens, if not hundreds of hours right next to. And Brady is one of the smartest, funniest guys I know. And as evidence of that, we see him joining me on 4 of the Smart Water Wednesday episodes. And as you all know, I have my special guests help me choose the content, and you can tell by the content that Brady chooses some of the most frequently asked questions. Brady's the questions that he gets are the day in and day out. So we've created that together. Most recently, we did an episode about what does WeatherTrack save Salt Lake City parks, and it was great. And so I'd first of all like to welcome my friend Brady Pitcher. Brady, how you doing?
As always, it's great to be with you, buddy. It is. It's awesome. This has been a long time in the making, and I'm excited for it to happen. And I do have, to start off the day, a quick pun, if you don't
Love
mind.
it. Lay it on me.
Okay. A group of chess enthusiasts checked into a hotel and were standing in the lobby discussing their recent tournament victories. After about an hour, the manager came out of the office and asked them to disperse. But why, they asked as they moved off? Because, he said, I can't stand chestnuts boasting in an open foyer.
Oh, chestnuts boasting on an open foyer. I think
That was
that's
appropriate for the holidays.
Perfect. I love it. So as you can tell, Brady and I are going to keep it light. We're going to keep it fun. And we are going to host some amazing water managers through WeatherTrack trivia today. So for our next section, we are going to dive into kind of what exactly makes the game the game. So give me just a few minutes to explain what we're going to be doing today and how we're going to be doing it, and then we will get the game underway. First, we have an amazing list of contestants today. All have been special guests featured on Smart Water Wednesday. All are amazing water managers from California that lead the charge for water management in California, and leading the charge into what good water management looks like, keeping your eye on every gallon and make sure that you can meet those water budgets. So we're going to have an awesome list of panelists today competing. For the record, the game that we're playing is called Dropped. The format of the game is that we start with 4 contestants. We'll have 3 elimination rounds. Each round will be WeatherTrack trivia, and we'll play until somebody gets dropped. And the lowest score from each round gets dropped. For the last round, we'll just have the 2 finalists, and then when one person gets dropped, we'll find the one winner from this episode. So they will compete in the system test first round, where we dive into the platform and talk about how you find information on one of the WeatherTrack platforms. The second round will be a feature test where we'll drill down on a feature set, maybe alerts, maybe OptiFlow. It's going to be different every week. And then the last round is the speed test. And then this week, we're in the round robin. This week, the California Water Managers is week 1 and the first week of the round robin. The winner from today's episode will advance to the championship, and the winners of all 4 episodes will play each other head-to-head on December 15th at this time. So please join us for the Smart Water Wednesdays Dropped Championship on December 5th.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. All right, Brady. That's the quick intro. I burned through it and didn't check with you. Do you have anything to add to any of that before we start the intro?
Other than I'm excited we've got some great water managers today that I'm excited to hear from.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember that the training content is not only the questions that we ask, but the responses from world-class water managers. So we get to hear from some of the leading water managers in the industry and have them teach you on some of the most frequently asked WeatherTrack questions. I wanted this to be fun. So this is a WeatherTrack prize giveaway. If you participate in round 1, you will get the WeatherTrack Literature Swag Pack is what we're calling it. My friend Lance Elliott is an amazing irrigation mind and an amazing artist and makes great WeatherTrack literature that for irrigation nerds like myself is awesome. So we're going to collect the great images that Lance put together for the Flow Solutions Guide and the OptiFlow Solutions Guide, as well as all the high res product pictures and text sheets for all of the different products. Make that what we call the literature swag pack. It'll be a little notebook full of WeatherTrack literature, and everybody who participates today will get the WeatherTrack literature swag pack. If you survive to round 2, you will get the WeatherTrack charger. If you survive to round 3, you will win the WeatherTrack hat, as seen on the show, as seen on my head most weeks. So for making it to the championship, you get the hat. And if you win the championship, this week's winner will get a customized Dropped Tournament of Champions sweatshirt. And then again, if you win this week, you move on to the championship. In the championship, the questions get harder and the prizes get bigger. So if you participate in round 1, you get the, as seen on the show often, the WeatherTrack Yeti coffee mug. If you survive to round 2, you get the WeatherTrack Camelback, which is the most popular piece of WeatherTrack swag I've ever seen. So there's got to be value there. If you survive to round 3, we've got the WeatherTrack hammock and all the accessories and goodies that go along with that. And if you win the championship, the champion of the championship wins a personalized Yeti cooler, the big chest cooler with the Dropped logo. And more than that, the champion wins one of everything, right? The champion gets loaded up with WeatherTrack swag. So we call it the Great WeatherTrack Prize Giveaway. Brady, does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
It's a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. Again, today's contestant group is all California water management leaders. These are all guys that head their own divisions of water management. Also, as a secret aside, it was this awesome foursome that we're going to feature today that was the impetus for me making this game show. I secretly made this game show to figure out a way to get all 4 of these guys on one episode at the same time. So first and foremost, with no further ado, we want to introduce my friend Andrew Chase. But Andrew has joined me on a day in the life of a water manager, just learning how to walk the path of water management. And in his most recent episode, he taught us how to use a soil probe to figure out the soil moisture content, which is a key skill for awesome water managers. Andrew Chase, welcome. Andrew, how you doing today?
Doing great. Enjoying this fine, sunny Southern California weather.
Andrew joins us from outside. Andrew is going to be our outside guest today. Andrew, can you tell me a little bit about when we first met? You worked for a very large company. and you've moved since to Monarch Environmental. Can you talk very quickly about what Monarch Environmental is doing and what you're doing for them?
Yeah. So, I mean, going into Monarch Environmental, what we're doing is we're really working in collaboration with landscape contractors and trying to help them get a handle on the irrigation and landscapes that the landscape contractors have in these big HOAs. And we're starting to move into some commercial properties and stuff like that. So, we come in as a third party, we take those observations that maybe get overlooked, from people just being, frazzled on the day-to-day managing a site. And we just kind of help steer them towards the right course to getting their properties into the best shape that they can with and keep them, within their contract and everything else like that. So, but we really try to coax the HOA boards to spend the money. We try to do that the best we can, at the same time making sure that they get the best bang for their buck.
I love that. That is awesome. And I want to tell you that I have gotten a lot of feedback on our episode that we did together about the soil moisture probe. That's something that has opened a lot of guys' eyes. I hope that they're selling.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. He always has it with him. I think he sleeps with it under his pillow. But I want to give you kudos because I thought it was awesome and the listeners thought so as well. So thank you for joining us. We'll be right back to you. All right. So we will move from Andrew Chase and we will go on to my friend Chad Sutton from Gachina, who, as an aside, joined me on episode 5, right? Chad Sutton is kind of our key audience. When I talk about water nerds, in the back of my brain, it lives as Chad Sutton. And so it's an honor and a pleasure to have him. He has chosen subjects like flow link and watering to a budget, how to make sure that we can hit the number that we set out to hit. So Chad is executing water management at a very high level. It is my pleasure and my honor to bring on Chad Sutton.
Thank
Chad,
you.
how are
Thank you, guys. You're too kind. Very, very nice intro. Thank you.
His
Especially
head
the part
got
about
bigger,
being a
I think.
nerd. I'll represent.
Represent. How are things at Gachina, Chad?
Things are going really well. We're enjoying a good start to the rainy season up here in Northern California. And we will happily ship all of our water down south later.
Yes, I want to talk to you about your social media team and the things that you guys do on social media. It seems like you have a social media presence that is unmatched out there. You guys are doing awesome.
Got a great team led by Chelsea, who gets the word out about everything we're doing. She makes it fun and interesting, and she's built a really great presence online through all the different platforms. And one of the things that we've been promoting a lot lately is we are part of the Rescape professional landscaping group, which is focused on 8 principles of regenerative landscapes. So we're trying to get the word out about things like saving water, nurturing the soil, creating habitat, sequestering carbon. So there's 8 principles that we're really focused on as a company at Gachina. And, as you know, it's all about saving water. So that's why I'm here today. What we're looking to do is to have as few inputs into the landscape as possible so that it can come back naturally. And of course, applying the right amount of water at the right time, not overwatering. It's critical for plants to bounce back, especially right now in a state of drought, right? If you're constantly overwatering, they're not going to make it through these droughts. They're going to be in a state that makes it so that they're not truly a drought tolerant plant, even if it says so on the label of the nursery.
Nice.
Yeah, you gotta treat it like that, right? You can't just hope that it works. And just as an aside, Chelsea gave you a shout out in the chat just as you were giving her a shout out on the recording. So
let's go.
It's great to have the whole Gachina team in the house.
All right.
We will be right back, Chad. I'm going to finish these introductions and then we'll start the game. All right. So next we will bring up my friend Danny Smith. Danny Smith has very cerebral water management approach. You can tell when I talk to Danny, he's all about choosing the right flow sensor, choosing the right controller. And then Danny was part of the tribute to Tom Ash that we did. Danny took to social media after Tom Ash passed and said some nice things, inspired me to do a whole episode about a tribute to Tom Ash. So I want to thank him for that. And we are going to stop share and bring Danny onto the show. Danny, welcome.
Danny.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are things in Park West land?
Absolutely great. Yeah. Drought, all the other things that are coming against us, pandemic, aside, we're doing the best we can.
You guys are doing great. And as a not only water nerd, but a training nerd, I have to give you and your team a shout out because not only have we had Danny on from Park West, but we've had Joe on from Park West, their training manager as well. And when I look at social media, that is the foot that you guys are leading with, right? Is we train our guys the best. And it's obvious that's a top-down mandate. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, training is where we're at. Our industry is, I think, a little bit behind the eight ball in terms of where we're at and where we can go. Water costs will always dictate how we move forward with the technology that we have, so partnering with the manufacturers that are doing things right and making sure that our teams are utilizing the technologies accordingly is how we drive success. So having, Joe getting in his new role, obviously utilizing all of the third-party associations, Irrigation Association, Quell, Certified Water Manager, Recycled Water Site Supervisor, that's how we are going to move the industry forward.
I love it. And you were the first director of water management that I ever got the opportunity to train. And that is driving at what this episode is really all about. Putting all four of you together as leaders in this industry was not only an honor, but something that I kind of place on your shoulders. It's something that we have done together for a long time. And now I think that this is the next step in the evolution. So thank you. And Drew Oldfeld gave you a shout out in the chat. So thank you, Drew. And Danny, we will be right back. In the meantime, I am going to bring up my friend, Max Moreno. Max is the Director of Water Management for Harvest and joined me for episode 59 not too long ago. What makes a good water manager, where we talked about developing a water management program. And if you are in the early stages of kind of seizing that section of business, what a good water manager does, what a good water management department looks like. So I wanted to hear that perspective from the market and from the contractors, which is why we talked to Max Moreno.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi,
how are you
Max.
doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing well. I was just talking about you. It turns out that I saw your name in the Landscape Management Magazine teaser. You working with Landscape Management Magazine?
Yes. So yeah, I was fortunate enough to be sought after for some nice little articles about water management and basically saving water. So it was a fun article. We actually kind of went a little bit off topic when I was talking to her, and when I talked to the publisher, she was just ecstatic to hear about what we're doing. And then I also provided her some before and after images because the great thing about working at Harvest, we're a huge techie company. I'm basically a tech nerd. I would love to basically be like one of those Best Buy nerd guys, but basically I showed her some of the drone footage that we do before and after when it comes to water management, because showing the numbers is one thing, but actually showing the product to the customers of a healthy landscape is another. So yeah, check it out. It's the November issue, just dropped, Landscape Management Magazine. I'm in there, so you'll be able to see my ugly mug on there as well. But yeah, it was great.
I wouldn't
think
say
he said
ugly, Max.
just dropped. All right. So, Max, thank you for joining us. It is a pleasure. And I will be right back. We are going to get this game started here. Brady and I would like to welcome you to the official game of Dropped. Brady?
This is exciting. In fact, you know what? Let's lighten things up a little bit with a little pun.
Oh.
What do you call a short psychic who just escaped from prison?
A short psychic who just escaped from prison?
Yes. A
I don't know.
small, medium, at large.
A small, medium, at large.
There you go. Now they're all loosened up a little bit.
If that doesn't get your intellectual juices flowing for the water management game, I don't know what will. So here we go. Today, we will be focusing the system test on WeatherTrack Mobile. Round 2, we're going to dive into the feature test where we'll talk about the mapping tools at both WeatherTrack Mobile and WeatherTrack.net. And then the speed test will take place at WeatherTrack.net. Just for participating, you all get the WeatherTrack Literature Swag Pack. Thank you for joining us today. I also wanted to give a shout out to the different audiences that might be watching. First of all, if you're watching this on a recording, when we post the recording, I will also post a test to our training site called the Dropped Episode 1 Test. If you take that test, that will be all of the questions from today's episode, and you'll hear all of the answers from our water management experts. So when you score perfect on that test, our marketing folks will send you the level 1 prize, the Literature Swag Pack. Also, if you are listening along, the webinar attendees, for this first question, the first person to enter the correct answer into the chat box will also get a WeatherTrack Literature Swag Pack. So again, training, make sure to be playing along, make sure to put your brain to the test of all of these WeatherTrack questions. All right, so that brings us to actually the test. All right, so the first question we have is, where can I get turn-by-turn directions to an asset that I manage on WeatherTrack Mobile? Do I get that from the site map, from the controllers page, from the... Oh,
I saw Max and then Andrew second. So Max.
All right. So I chose A, which is the site map, and the correct answer. Whoop,
That
whoop.
is correct.
Site map.
Woo, woo, woo.
Aqua Max.
So this is actually one of my favorite features. You know, part of the site map is that when we add stuff to the site map, you can actually do turn by turn by pushing on the little pin, and it'll take you directly to where that asset is.
Yeah, so this little pin right here in the asset, you go to the asset map, you pull up the asset, and then this little map pin with the circle underneath will pull up turn-by-turn directions, take you right to that asset in the map.
All right.
So Max is at 1, and we are on to question 2. All right, so next we have, where do you change a station's station mode from automated by WeatherTrack to user no ET? Again, we are using just the mobile app. So on the mobile app, do you go from... Oh.
All right, I saw Max and then Danny next.
All right, Max, you're first.
I chose D station programming.
D station programming is correct.
So what you need to do is basically go to the controller and then from the controller to the station. Once you're in the station, you get that nice little screen and basically go to the station mode and change it. Usually we do that whenever we have either new plants or maybe we're overseeding where we would need to change that station.
All right, awesome sauce. So with 2 correct answers, Max is on to the next round. So next we have question 3.
Oh.
Which of the following is not required to get a WeatherTrack mobile access for a site? So if you are wanting to add access to a site, which one of these do I not need?
I saw Danny first and Andrew second.
Okay, Danny Smith.
Danny Smith, what do you got?
Controller has current firmware. C.
Controller has current firmware is the correct answer.
That is the correct answer.
Well, because the other ones are required and this one's not.
Right? That's as easy as it is, right? So firmware has nothing to do with access, but if you want to get access to a controller, you got to make sure you have WeatherTrack Mobile, you have the site added to your account. To do that, you need to get permission from the controller owner to add that to your account. So some steps to get there, important steps. All right, Danny Smith has one, and we are on to the next one. Ready? WeatherTrack Mobile, round 1, question 4. What page will you use to unlock an OptiFlow controller panel? Again, WeatherTrack Mobile only.
I saw Chad and then Danny.
All
Chad,
right.
what do you have?
I got D, controller settings access.
Controller settings access is the correct answer,
Nice.
right?
This is great, especially it's for OptiFlow controllers. And so if you need to unlock and get access right from the app while you're in the field, you can tell it how much time, it'll count down. And once you're done doing whatever you need to do at the site, it automatically locks back up and keeps out fingers you don't want in there.
Good job, Chad. All right. So we are on to the 5th question of WeatherTrack Mobile, which is, which page provides the highest level summary of alert information? So this is tricky, right? Which one provides the highest level of summary of alert information? Is that the profile page, the sites page, the
I saw Danny first, then Chad. So what do you have, Danny?
Controllers page.
Ooh.
No.
right.
That is not the highest level of summary. Who did you have second, Brady?
Yeah, the Chad was second.
I'm going to go with B, sites page.
That is correct.
Good all.
The controllers page shows you, on the controllers page, you see the summary of each controller, but the sites page shows you the summary of all of those controllers, providing the highest level of summary information.
That was a little bit of a trick question, guys, to be honest. So
I'm not going to lie. We're trying to make this hard.
That.
Having that quick glance on the sites to see which ones have got urgent alerts, a major or minor, it's really great, quick snapshot.
Yeah, absolutely. And a great way to get fast information and see where the big issues exist.
Absolutely.
I love it. All right. So Brady, how we doing on score?
So this is what we have so far. With 2, we have Max and Chad with 2 questions. Okay. Danny's got 1. And unfortunately, Andrew hasn't been fast enough quite yet.
Andrew, you're on. This could be the final question. We are on to question 6. All right. Question 6 has, how does WeatherTrack Mobile determine the time of day a user rain pause expires? Now, this is time of day, not days in the week. So it will expire at a certain time. How do we find that? Is it A, at random, B, daylight savings time?
All right, I saw Danny, then Andrew. So
all right, Danny.
What do you have?
Midnight.
Danny?
Midnight is not the correct answer.
Oh no.
No. Andrew comes in.
The WeatherTrack rain pause, whether it's user or climate center, always expires at the program A start time. So you'll see that on WeatherTrack Mobile.
Yeah, sure. So when the user rain pause is input in, once it goes to expire, it's not going to just expire at it's not going to expire at the random time or preset time. It's going to expire the next time you turn the controller back on for its next cycle.
Absolutely. When it goes down
I'm too
to
pumped
0,
up with adrenaline trying to stay in the game.
Now it's neck and neck. Now it is on like Donkey Kong. We are to the final question of the round. WeatherTrack Mobile question 7. What page will you use to clear flow and electrical alerts? Again, this is just from WeatherTrack Mobile. So you will,
we had Danny pretty quickly on that one.
Danny pretty quick.
And Danny got the right answer because I'm seeing it right there.
Yes.
Sorry. Danny, can you tell us how you clear flow and electrical alerts?
Yeah, I mean, the alerts page, I always kind of gravitate towards that one because it has the most information for us. So I don't want to just blindly clear alerts. It gives us a little bit more in depth before we just do a blanket clear.
Right? Absolutely. And when you see those alerts, if you are field troubleshooting, the ability to clear them from your pocket is a big advantage. All right.
So what that means, Ben, is we've got Chad with 2, Danny with 2, Max with 2, and unfortunately, Andrew only has 1.
The speed test is killer.
You know, you got to be first at something.
These guys are fast on the draw. You got to be fast. That was awesome. Andrew, I really appreciate you making time. Thank you so much. You want to give shout out to anybody before we?
I just want to say thank you to the Academy. I want to say thank you to everyone that voted for me today. I want to say thank you to the sprinklers in the background that are distracting me while they're watering in the sunlight at 10 o'clock, almost 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, that's
I
the
want to thank you
excuse? Is that what's going on?
Weather Track.
Good.
Yeah, there's actually turf sprinklers watering in the background right now. So, but no, I just want to say thanks to everyone I work with, and this has been a blast. I've been looking forward to this, and I look forward to seeing everybody and working with everyone in the near future, especially everybody on this panel today.
On this panel today.
If not before, we'll see you all at IA.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Andrew, looking forward to seeing you at IA, but unfortunately, you have been dropped. All right. And we are on to round 2. So round 2, we are in for the feature test. Okay, so we switch from where do you find it to nerdy details about the feature itself. And today's feature is the mapping tools that span across both WeatherTrack Mobile and WeatherTrack.net. So just for participating in round 2, we will supply all of you with a WeatherTrack charger. The swag gets better as you go on, I promise. All right, so
let's do it.
Let's do this. All right, question 1. How many site asset type icons are available for the site map? So how many different icons are in the map? Is it 3?
Oh, that was a close one. And I think Danny might be frozen, but I saw Chad and Max barely like a millisecond behind him.
All right, we're going to go with Chad. Chad Sutton from Gachina.
I'm going to venture out on a limb and say C29, but I believe this is a trick question.
No, it was a trick question, but you answered correctly, right?
Right.
Nice.
It is a trick question because you've got the wildcard custom asset that you can make whatever you want.
Ooh, not only tricky, but trick question. If you stay tuned for a few minutes, we might even talk about that custom asset. I don't know.
Here we go.
Awesome. That was a great answer. Thank you so much. Yes, 29. We want to be able to cover all of the assets that you might mark in the map, but not give you so many that your mind is dizzy from it. All right. So we are on to question 2 of the second round, mapping tools. Where is the icon for the station location asset supposed to be placed on the map? Every time we train on this, we tell you the same thing, where that station location asset should be placed. Oop.
Max had it first, and he smiled too, which I appreciate.
Hold it to your body.
See.
Yep. Aquamax in the house. Look at that. He's got the jacket. He's from the Harvest Labs. That's awesome. I love it.
They were pretty sneaky about it. I saw that kind of come in.
I'm sorry. They threw me the beaker really quick right in the middle. I didn't.
You're good. I'm using it. I'm taking that as a screenshot. But tell me about the station location asset first.
So that's actually my favorite feature out of the mobile. It's basically, you know, whenever you turn on the station, you're right there, and you press the plus button, and you can add the valve placement of the valve.
And one key thing about the station location asset that's different than any other asset is you can run manual irrigation from it. So manual irrigation from the map by accessing the station location asset. Denny, welcome back. Thank you for struggling back.
Brutal. I thought you dropped me. I'm like, that wasn't fair.
That wasn't fair.
So the show is called Dropped, Denny. So
I know.
So just to give you a quick update, we are 2 questions in, one for Chad, one for Max.
I got a handicap. All right.
Here we go. Question 3. And what is the WeatherTrack central report that displays the site map information, right? So if you put in all of those pins, Do you see that in a report form from? Oh,
Okay, I saw Chad first, followed by Max. So Chad, what do you have?
I got a asset summary report.
the asset summary report.
That
Tell me
is
all about it.
Yeah, this is a newer one that I'm looking forward to taking advantage of more often, but a very comprehensive map that you see, and then a breakdown with the table of all the different assets you have. Really thorough way of understanding everything you've got on a site.
I would say that is the newest weather track report. That is the most recent add to the reports page. So great job. And Chad is at 2.
That's
Max
2
is
for
at
Chad.
1. Danny, you got some
1.
catching up to do. Ready?
Ready.
Map tools number 4. Once a picture of an asset has been saved to the sitemap by WeatherTrack Mobile, where can it be viewed on WeatherTrack Central, the live, not the report that we just saw? Where can you find it live on your WeatherTrack Central account? Do you go to the sitemap? Oh,
I saw Max and then Danny. Max, what do you have?
I got D. I think that was wrong.
that is incorrect.
All right, Danny, here's your chance to redeem yourself. Is that A?
Come on, goodness.
That is A.
That is correct.
Right? So
Okay.
tell us all about it, Danny.
Redeems himself.
You guys know how much labor intensive it is to put all these assets in, but once they're in, we don't have, remote control valves and controllers walking away from us. So, invest the time and use the asset.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And
Well
if you're looking
said.
at it online, go to the sitemap, choose the asset pin. On that, you'll see it on the map, but you'll have an asset details option where you can scroll down to the bottom and find the documents. That's where we've pinned all of the photos that you've taken from the field. All right, tie game. Does that make this the tiebreaker?
Well, we've got Chad with 2, Danny with 1, and Max with 1. So
this is the final question of round 2. It all comes down to this. All right, mapping tools number 5. What is the custom asset used to identify? We talked a little bit about that custom asset before. Is it a Toro
that
hydraulic
was
control?
close. I saw Max barely come up first, and then Danny was right behind him. So what do you have, Max?
D, whatever you want.
D, whatever you want.
So the custom asset is basically kind of, if there's any kind of miscellaneous item that's maybe part of the irrigation, you can customize it. Maybe like they put in something weird in the irrigation. So it's really great. I actually use a custom asset quite a few times in some of my properties when I find random things. It's kind of like a doubler. Sometimes they put in doublers in the valve box, and then I have to put in there that there's a doubler.
Great point.
Nice.
Yeah, I've seen customers use this in a number of ways, marking signs, marking landscape features. It is a very versatile tool. So absolutely. All right. Brady,
What that means? What that means, we got Chad with 2, Max with 2, and Danny. Unfortunately, I'm afraid that internet snafu bit you in the butt.
might have taken you down, Danny.
Killed me.
Sorry for the power of the internet, but thank you so much for joining. You were an amazing guest, and you're an amazing partner in all this. So thank you so much for everything that you do and contribute, not only to the show, but to water management. You want to give a shout out to anybody before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the gentleman is part of this event. We have so much work to do, but we're all so excited to do it. So, Chad, thanks for giving us the water. We appreciate it. That's very helpful. Max, everything that you're working on is so exciting. Seeing what you're doing there, and Andrew paving new ground for consultants. So it's all good stuff. And I did see Tony. Tony's in the chat. So Bilingual Training Institute, BTI. She's really helping us out. Chad included, Max, I know. So that it's all good stuff. So if you see me at the IA show in San Diego, say hi, and have a great day.
I will be seeing you at IA, but unfortunately, you have been. Ooh, we're gonna need to work on that. But
give me that. Come on, Brady, you gotta give me a good one. Brady, give me a good one.
Hold on.
There it is.
There we go. I love it. All right. So we are down to the championship bracket. Nice.
Here we go.
Our finalists. All right. So we're on to round 3. Whoop, whoop. Where we have the weather track race. And again, we're going to ask Chad and Max to log in, and we're going to have them race to find a very nitpicky little detail about a setting inside that account. Just for joining us in round 3, we want to thank you by giving you a weather track hat, as often seen on my head. As well as we want to open up this to both the at-home or listening audience and the play along web audience as well. So if you want to play along on the speed test, I've created the same account that you'll see these guys using. The username is dropped. The password is dropped 2021. And
Capital D, make sure you put that capital D in there.
Capital D, no space, right? It's all capitals and spaces are important. And again, for you web listeners, the first one that logs in with this question will win the prize of the round, which is a very fancy weather track hat. All right. Chad, Max, are you ready for this?
Are you logged in?
Are you logged in?
Logged in.
Ready to go. All right. So we are ready for the speed test. And the first question is, and as soon as it comes up, the race is on. It all comes up at once. We're not waiting on answers like we were in the last round. So for the speed test, I want you to give me which controller in that account is offline and for how long. So
Okay. It looks like Max has it.
Max has it. Boom.
Wow.
Oh, but wait.
I got it.
Chad followed the rules. Chad had the pad, which is the rule. So we got to go with Chad. Sorry, Max.
Sorry, Max.
I'm gonna go with the Westside Community Center site, and the controller's the demo, and it's been offline for 30 months.
30 months. All right. So this is when this gets interesting. Chad, can you tell me how to get there?
No, I've never been to Irvine.
Can you tell me how to get there in weathertrack.net? How you found that information?
Thank you very much. Yeah, so the way I did it was I went to the manage page for that. I was at the manage page and I used the drop down for the sites. And so that drop down menu there, it actually shows you the status of all the controllers, and I could see which one was offline. So I clicked on that controller, let it spin up, and then I went to the alerts for that particular controller, and it showed me that that offline alert had been of duration of 30 months. So I went to a few screens to get there.
Few screens to get there. I love that. Can I show you how I would have done that?
Sure.
So in terms of efficiency, it's always where Chad says it is. But if you had scrolled down on to the major alerts on the home page, we see the controller offline for 30 months sitting right there at the bottom of the home page as well. So it's in there a number of times. You can crack the egg a number of different ways, but you get 30 months and the correct answer, Chad Sutton. On to round 2. Max Moreno, we are going to use the notebook this time. You were so close. Like, that was brutal for us.
That was, sorry, Max, but sticklers.
All right. So you can crack the egg a number of different ways, but you get 30 months and the correct answer, Chad Sutton. On to round 2. Max Moreno, we are going to use the notebook this time. You were so close. Like, that was brutal for us.
That was, sorry, Max, but sticklers.
All right. So I'm going to go back to this. Oh, just question, which is race number 2. Again, as soon as you see it, the race is on. Please find me the Capitol Commercial Building. The controller is called Pro 3 Demo, Austin, Texas. The serial number is 900-6268. And on there, I've put an event pause.
Chad had his paper up. What do you have, Chad?
Yeah, the starting date of the event pause is going to be 5/4/22 at 8 a.m.
5/4/22. And how do I know that? Because
I'm staring at it on the manage page under the event pause details.
Okay, I go to the Smart Irrigation tab, the manage page. I pull up the correct controller from the drop-down menu, which is right. I walked right by it, sorry. And on this controller, we see the event pause called May the 4th be with you. And you can
oh, I didn't catch that. That's a good one.
Start time of the event pause where all manual and scheduled irrigation will be suspended for May the 4th. All right, that's awesome, Chad. That gives you 2 in a row, which is enough for this round. So Max.
That was a peace out, Max.
It's been a pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry about the rigging in snafus, but thank you for making time, and I always appreciate your addition. You want to give a shout out to anybody before we call it off?
Yeah, no, this was great. Give shout out to all the guys, Danny, Andrew, Chad. Just the fact that, I was involved and, to be with this group of guys was awesome. And the great team here at Harvest, I want to thank everybody here at Harvest. We're plugging away, we're doing our part with the water management, and hopefully everyone on this that's watching this is taking away that water management is a thing and it's growing, and people like Chad, myself, Danny, and Andrew, we're just helping, trying to lead the way. And as always, my call out, Aquamax, let's save water.
Let's save water. And thank you, Aquamax. But unfortunately, you have been. I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear
Did you do it?
I'm sorry.
Dropped. I don't know what's going on. I think it's your mic. Your mic is filtering that out somehow.
Apparently it is.
We'll figure that out.
I was writing it and I had it on stupid.
All right. Max, I can still hear you. There we go. All right. And Chad. Chad Sutton, today's champion. Whoop, whoop.
Sweet.
How you doing? You made it to
Doing
the
good.
end.
Feeling like I'm ready for December 15th. Let's go.
Yes. On December 15th, we will participate in the championship. It will be the champion of all of the rounds. You're getting shout outs on the chat box from all of your other contestants and some of the watchers as well. Chad, you were great. Thank you so much for participating.
You had a slow burn there too, Chad. You started out kind of sneakily, and then you just kind of crept up and ran past at the finish.
Pace yourself. You got to know how long the race is.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yes, it does.
All right. So next week, we will have the second episode of Dropped, where we will have a group of great distributors. These are folks that have been on the distributor list as long as I've been working here. These are old friends of mine. So we'll have Andy Clarkson from Smith Turf, Eric Anderson from Site One, Scott Smolin from Water Savers, and Joe Jackson from Brady's Own Backyard with Sprinkler Supply. So
show no favoritism.
Show no favoritism. But we really look forward to seeing you there. And thank you all so much for tuning in and staying long. I know that we didn't know how long this would take. This is a little bit longer, but I definitely appreciate you staying with us.
Quick shout out.
What's that?
Can I get my quick shout out?
Nope, we're gonna hand it over to you and you get the last word. So you get all the shout outs, you get whatever water management message. But before I do, Brady, you have something to close.
I gotta end with one last pun, don't I?
Okay, we'll give one last pun and then we'll hand it to you, Chad.
All right. So what's the difference between roast beef and pea soup? You know that?
I don't know.
Well, anyone can roast beef, but nobody can pea soup.
Oh, had to leave us on that.
And with that, I'm signing off.
We'll see you next
Stop
week,
yourself.
Brady. Chad, give us some final thoughts.
All right. First of all, thank you to everybody who put this together, all the folks at Hyder Point, Ben, Brady, awesome job. I had a blast. And to my fellow contestants, really top guys in the industry. And there's no doubt that they're super qualified, and it's been a pleasure to be a part of this group. And then my shout outs, everybody at Kachina doing a great job helping conserve water, and especially my irrigation management team. I want to give a shout out to Edwin and to Gerardo and to Alfonso, Richard, Renee, and our newest irrigation manager, Raimundo Rico, who was my water management technician for the last 3 years, who just got promoted. He's now running the show over in our East Branch.
Congrats.
And, so it's great. Let's keep it all going.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Kachina team, and we'll see you all next week.